Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. I brush type monthly short videos, and the Yingling Palace breaks the defense through a time-traveling lunar world. He became Fujimaru Shiro, who had not experienced the winter wood fire. I don't want to change my surname to Wei Gong, let alone Yan Feng. Shi Lang just wants to survive. But the heavens did not fulfill people's wishes, and Shi Lang discovered that this world was destined to be burned down by human reason. Fortunately, in the awakening video sharing system, as long as the video viewer can change the predetermined character storyline and change the fixed band of Lingzi Records, there will be rewards. Accompanied by the appearance of a huge screen in the Xingyue universe, the magic world shook and the Yingling Temple broke through. Yan Fengqili said, "I am actually incomplete, this. It's so joyful." Jian Tongyan Ye said, "It's all my fault." Mordred. At Shiro, if you want to be with your father, go through my level first/angry. Elia. I have finished reading the story of King Arthur. What is the relationship between Arthur and Mordred? Father-son. Father-daughter. Mother-son. Or mother-daughter. Shi Lang. Xiao Mo is actually very easy to coax. As long as you don't say she is a woman, don't say she is a man, don't scold her father, and don't praise her father. See, it's very simple. Knights of the Round Table. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Video Sharing System. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Timeline constraints. To understand this concept, you need to first understand the concept of multiple world lines. Do you know this? That would be easy. In Professor Fujimaru's work, it is explained that there are countless possible world lines in theory, but they only exist in theory and have not been translated into reality. The world only runs along one of these world lines. The called restraint refers to the world line leading to a common outcome. For example, Arthur, the former knightly king of Great Britain, ended up with the result that regardless of whether Arthur himself drew his sword from the stone, Great Britain would eventually perish. 1994, Toki City, Shinkansen Station. On a row of public seats, the Fujimaru couple listened to the voices of discussion next to them, looking at their child Fujimaru Shiro with pride and indulgence in their eyes. Almost 2 years ago, after the so-called foam economy burst, the whole Fusang economy began to become very depressed, and people's entertainment methods were even poorer. Therefore, manga novels have become the only way for many people to relieve stress. Who would have thought that in this era of the Great Depression, such a highly sought-after novel by young people was written by Shigeru Fujimaru, who was only 8 years old. Fujimaru Shiro was keenly aware of the proud gaze of his parents throughout his life, and it was still appropriate for him to show a big smile. This should be a reasonable response, right? Shi Lang thought of it. That's right. Fujimaru Shiro is a traveler. To be precise, he is a rebirth traveler, but his brain capacity was not enough when he was young. Despite occasionally dreaming about past life events, he has never been able to understand the other world and himself in his dreams. It wasn't until 6 months ago that he finally sorted everything out and confirmed his identity as a traveler. Thanks to being able to sort it out in a timely manner, if it's delayed any further, Shi Lang feels like he needs GG. His name in this lifetime is Fujimaru Shiro, and the city he lived in is called Higashiki City. There is a building called Dongmu Grand Theater in Dongmu City, just across the street from his home. When he sorted everything out, Shiro immediately understood that he was dressed as one of the main characters of the Moon, who would soon be renamed as Shiro of the Palace. Let time continue like this, he will be attacked by the script of the beloved warrior Lao Su. As originally planned, he was indeed the only survivor of the Great Fire. But who can say clearly, can he survive on this world line? So, Shiro immediately urged his parents of this life to move and leave Dongmu City. But unfortunately, in this economic era, his cheap father's job is still stable, which is a great fortune. Moving is basically impossible. So his words as a 7-year-old child are of no use at all. Therefore, there was no other way, and in the last part of last semester, Shi Lang had no choice but to make a name for himself and become the child of others, in the mouths of many teachers and parents. Of course, besides physical education courses. As soon as the name of genius came out, Shi Lang quickly became a copywriter and serialized the game, Fate Stone Gate, from his previous life as a novel. Finally, the family's economic conditions have improved, but his parents still said they need to consider moving again, but they can temporarily take him on a trip. That is to say, when the map of Fusang was placed in front of him, the scholar realized that in addition to Higashiki City, there were also Misaki City and Kenbuko City in this world. Misaki City. This proves that besides magic and magic, there are also vampires and dead people in this world. This is okay. Shi Lang feels that as long as he is honest, it is absolutely impossible to provoke him in this lifetime. But there is a girl named the root girl of the two rites in Guanpuzi City who dares to reveal her blood bars, and even the gods will kill her to show you. This is actually okay, it doesn't have much to do with Shi Lang either. But the problem is, if the Liangyi style exists in this world, that is to say, by 2016, this world will be burned down by reason. Human reason refers to the concept of the origin, existence, and development of human species in this world. And human reason burning is to fundamentally exterminate humans or human species conceptually. Put it bluntly. He can avoid the first day of junior high school, but he can't avoid the 15th. Even if he really moved out of Dongmu City today, in 20 years, he will still be dead. Unless a little. The city of Guanbuzi in this world is just a geographical location, and there is no Liangyi family at all. After all, there is no mention of the existence of Kenbuzi City, and the Liangyi family must exist in this world line. Therefore, Shiro chose the tourist destination for this brief vacation to be in Kenbuzi City. Today is already August 25th, and I will depart for Guanpuzi City for 5 days. After 5 days, I will return and start school again in September. Now, Shiro and his family are waiting for the bus. Praying in his heart, hoping that there would be no Liangyi family in Guanbuzi City. That's when a young girl walked towards him not far away, her face somewhat familiar. She looks older than Shiro, about 11 or 12 years old. Black hair and blue pupils, wearing a black dress. The memories of the anime images of the previous life's moon are constantly flipping through Shiro's mind like slides. Finally, Shiro's gaze shrank. Unconsciously get up and walk towards the other person. Hello sister, you are so beautiful. My name is Fujimaru Shiro. May I know your name? Shiro fully utilized his advantages as a Masatai and widened his innocent eyes, looking at the girl in front of him. The girl also followed her parents by her side, staring blankly at Shi Lang, who suddenly stopped in front of her, and then looked at her parents. The encouraging gaze from her parents passed over, and the girl took a breath and gathered the courage to speak softly. Hello, I'm Shityo Ayaka. Taking a long breath in his heart, Shi Lang's mind twitched and he asked again. Does Sister Shityo also live in Dongmu City? Shityo Ayaka nodded. Shi Lang shrank his neck, leaving only one thought in his mind. Done. The Sheijo family living in Dongmu City means that there is no Tokyo Holy Grail War in this world. However, there was a pseudo-Holy Grail War in Syracuse after the Fifth Holy Grail War. In this Snow Plain Holy Grail War, Shiro remembers the legendary second magician who was observed throughout the entire process, and there was also the presence of the representative of death among the Apocalypse 4 knights in this Holy Grail War. His identity is the messenger of God. The second magic is to observe the entire process without any intervention, so it is highly likely that the timeline he is in will really be ignored by people. What should we do? I don't know if Chaldea exists in this world. Even if it exists, how can he go at this moment? Ding dong. Video sharing system, loading successful. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Changing a character's plot brings rewards. You are listening at novel full.audio. A mechanical sound without any warning echoed in his mind, and Shiro's eyelids twitched instantly. As a wealthy mansion in his past life, he certainly knew what this meant. However, video sharing system. What is this for? Without waiting for Shiro to think more, a massive amount of information instantly flooded into Shiro's mind. After a while, Shiro let out a breath. He also understood the usage of this system. Simply put, he can freely read all memories from his past life, including everything in the world of the moon. And what Shi Lang needs to do is organize it into a video and share it. The shared videos allow Shi Lang to ignore everything and let anyone he wants see them, even if he is already dead. Even the heroes who have transformed into data and entered the Hall of Spirits can still see them. As long as the shared video changes the established character storyline, Shiro can participate in a lottery. The more changes, the more lucky draws. In addition, the more comments a video causes among viewers, the more rewards it will receive. If you can change the fixed strap of the Lingzi record, you will receive the ultimate prize. No wonder I've been in this world for these years, and I can immediately recall things like the past life type moon plot. It turns out that the system has been loading for a long time. The Lingzi record fixation belt, also known as the timeline closure, is now in 1994, the closure of the fourth Holy Grail war closest to me. The Winterwood Fire should be counted as half of it, and the most important closure should be Ermoro II became the Lord of Modern Magic. I know all the plot and there are many hidden things in the magic world that can be easily changed. Shi Lang's thinking was like lightning, and in an instant, many ideas came to mind. For a moment, he was secretly excited in his heart. However, he immediately calmed down again. The more important the Lingzi record fixing belt is, the harder it is to change it. After all, his biggest reliance now is on being familiar with the plot, as the so-called butterfly effect, pulling a hair can move his whole body. We need to think carefully at the same time as Shiro was thinking, the opposite person, Ayaka Satoshi, was stunned and looked at his parents for help. At this moment, Shiro's parents also walked over and greeted the Shoujo couple before speaking to Shiro. Shiro, have you made new friends? We're going to set off. The call brought Shiro back to his senses, and Shiro quickly raised his eyes to show an apologetic smile at the Shityo family. At the moment of parting, Shiro spoke in a voice that only Shityo Ayaka could hear, be careful of a silver-haired woman. Shityo Ayaka's footsteps paused, her gaze froze, and she turned to look at Shiro's back, but Shiro had already followed her parents far away. Line up, check tickets, and get on the train. Dongmu City is not far from Kanbuzi City, but it is also not close, and it takes several hours on the road. After talking to his parents, Shiro set his gaze on the scenery outside the window. In fact, Shiro thought about the first video he wanted to play. Because the editing work only needs to be completed in the mind, what Shi Lang needs to do is to recall the relevant content. Simply put, it's like the scholar first scrolling through the video he wants to play in his mind. Soon. Shi Lang then had an idea. Alice Phil, Wei Gong, do you understand the mission of this trip to Dongmu? In Germany, at the Einzbelen castle, an old goat-bearded man frowned and looked at Alice Field in front of him. Aha Dian, we understand, said Alice Phil and the palace guard respectfully. That's right. At this moment, the three of them suddenly turned black in front of them. When they opened their eyes again, a huge light screen projection appeared out of thin air in the distance. It seemed to be not a physical object, but directly penetrated the wall and hung in the sky. Aha Dian, have you seen anything? Alice Phil, have you seen it too, Wei Gong? Yes, Aha Dian. The goat-bearded old man furrowed his brows and glared. Is it Caster's technique in the Winterwood Holy Grail War? The 7 cavalries have not been summoned yet, and the Holy Grail War has not started yet. However, before Alice Phil and Omiya Katsuki could respond, a text suddenly appeared on the screen. The video is about to start, please read the precautions carefully. Firstly, the video involves the past, present, and future. Please treat it with caution. Secondly, due to the existence of multiple parallel worlds with multiple different spatio-temporal counterparts, there are multiple undirected future identical characters in the video. Please pay attention to discrimination. Thirdly, to meet the needs of all viewers, the barrage system is activated during viewing. The initial barrage only speaks for the time and space you are in. You can set to speak regardless of time and space, but sending barrage in this state requires magic, so viewers should act according to their abilities. Fourth, the massive precautions appeared on the huge screen and were broadcasted in the ears of everyone in the magic world and the Hall of the Spirit. Dongmu City, Yuansaka Mansion. Kuei. Do you understand me? Kuei Osaka looked at her husband Osaka Shichen with a hint of dimness in her eyes, but she still managed to squeeze out a smile. I understand, Shichen. I have had this kind of consciousness since I decided to marry into the Osaka family, and since I decided to become your wife. Well, Sakura has inherited the magic of the Jian Tongyan family and will definitely make a difference in the future. After only saying half of what Yuan Saka Shichen said, his expression suddenly froze and he was so surprised that he couldn't speak. Kuei Yuansaka's eyes also widened slightly. Observing the reaction of Far Saka Kuei keenly, Far Saka Shichen could not set aside a channel and said, Kuei, did you also see it? That's right at this moment. Dad, Mom. Rin Osaka, with 2 small braids tied up, suddenly rushed out of the room. I saw something like a TV that couldn't be removed no matter how hard it was. Rin also saw it. Kuei Yuansaka exclaimed in surprise. Rin Osaka nodded heavily, and the screen in front of him had already lit up. Trial content begins. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Altolia. I will change the past. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Edward Teach. What's going on? Is there a mission command again? Wait, there's no summoning. What happened? Hopefully it's not a problem. Gilgamesh. Which cultivator dares to summon my king? Is there a problem with the spirit seat? Joan of Arc. It's really great to be able to regain my perspective. Isn't I a servant in this world? Nero Claudius. Let me see which wise magician he is, Mordred. The feeling of reinserting wings, what is this? Father, are you there? Gareth. Bedevil Ching. Lord Gowan. Tristan Ching. Oh, deceitful, deceitful, how could that be? Lancelot Ching is also here, my goodness. Is it? Your Majesty. It should be right, isn't it? At Altolia Pendragon. Bedevil. My arms, my strength. At Mordred, rebellious breath. At Altolia, my king, my king. At Gareskin. Knights of the Round Table, I have been dreaming. Once again, I am on par with all of you, sorry for the dust in my eyes. Lancelot. Gao Wenqing, Mordred, Bedevil, is that you? My king, Knight King, I feel extremely honored to communicate with you again, but I really don't have the face to see you. Gao Wen. At Altolia, although I haven't seen you yet, I have felt the aura of a king. Knight King, please let me offer my loyalty again. Mordred. The rebels have also become heroes, and Belvet King is also watching this scene. The Tristan Knight is also there. Lancelot Ching, I didn't expect to have another day of communication. It was impolite. As someone who couldn't save the king, I'm sorry, but I still can't forgive you. Tristan. Night King. Fortunately, this shameful face did not show you. My friends, Knights of the Round Table, although not once again gathered under the same flag, it is still worth celebrating at this moment. Unfortunately, why is my harp not here? Gilles de Rais. At Joan of Arc, it's you, my master, my god, at Altolia, this avatar, second Joan of Arc. My god. At Mordred, at Nero, happiness, I'm really too happy. Oh, wait, there's something wrong, you two seem to lack elements of elegance, cuteness, stability, and purity. Merlin. The members of the Round Table have never made any progress. It's such an interesting prank to have the entire Knights of the Round Table communicate without meeting. But behind the scenes, you're really a demon. Let me talk to Altolia. At Altolia, sorry, I'm just not mentally prepared yet. Altolia. Knights of the Round Table, are you really there too? There's a feeling of nostalgia. Before we reminisce, can you let me confirm that you've also seen this so-called screen projection? I'm not in the Hall of the Spirit now, but preparing to participate in a Holy Grail war. My knights, I will win the Holy Grail, I will change the past, and even save Britain, save you all. Almost as soon as the screen lit up, bullet comments filled the entire screen. Shi Lang looked at the Round Table Knights who greeted each other, as well as the spirits of various eras, and breathed a sigh of relief, but also scared. These are no longer heroes in data state, it's quite magical to be able to communicate with each other. However, at this point in time, Altolia should not be a true hero yet. The time when her true body is located should still be stagnant in the era of Camelot's downfall. That is to say, Altolia's obsession is still to go back to the past, choose a new king, and save Britain from the past. Will Altolia's thoughts change once the videos of the 4th and 5th wars are played? Shi Lang couldn't imagine how the future would change, so let's take a step and see. On the screen, while familiar spirits greet each other, the image also begins to appear. Wearing a silver-white armor, the Lion King Altolia had clearly grown into a stage of compatibility with the king in terms of physical age. With her golden pupils shining, a blazing white beam of light appeared in front of her, Rongaminiat. The next second, an incredibly brilliant light swept across the sky, and the scene turned. A girl with red hair, Toshio Fujimaru, was kneeling on the ground, with another girl holding a shield beside her. Both of them stared at the sky, with black clouds pressing down on the ground. Suddenly, the wind and clouds began to stir, and at the center of the sky, a cone-shaped beam of light slowly descended with an incredibly terrifying aura. As the perspective widened, among the mountains, Belvedere knelt on the ground with wounds, coughing blood. Beside him, a new character emerged, and with each step he took, a puddle of blood from his wounds fell down at the same time. The man's voice also sounded, "My lord, who is as holy as the sun, bestows all wisdom, dignity, power, and radiance. My lord, learn from my heart, reflect on my thoughts, and accomplish what I have accomplished." Bellevue, lying on the ground, lifted his head and saw the man in front of him facing the beam of destructive light. Behind him, accompanied by a series of footprints, was dripping blood. "O God of the creation of the stars and the moon, please witness my actions, my end, and the sanctity of what I will achieve, appear." The heroic spirit Arash drew his bowstring towards the sky. The perspective gradually turned downwards, and it was very obvious that Arash's spiritual foundation had begun to dissipate. After releasing this gamble with a single blow, my strong and resilient body will immediately shatter. Stella. The next second, the arrow detached from its hand and transformed into a flying meteor, soaring straight into the sky, hitting the top of the giant conical light cannon. Bang! The blazing white annihilates everything, following the scene closely. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Shock in the Magic World. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. As the screen turns, it becomes dark at first, followed by a heavy male voice filled with joy and highly recognizable voice. There's one thing I've known for a long time, I was born with disabilities. The screen lit up, and in a dilapidated lecture hall, moonlight shone, and the ancient and weathered sculpture of the goddess holding her son slowly turned into black and white. Sting. The perspective rapidly flows upwards, filled with purified energy falling from the sky like a waterfall. Under a cross on the roof, Yan Feng presses down on a person's head with one hand. Crush it, invite the losers, old man. The camera is directed towards the front of Yan Feng, and as the purified energy pours out, Yan Feng's robe sways and her hair flutters. Eternal life can only be granted after experiencing death. Redemption here, may the Lord have mercy. Bright and flourishing, through the light curtain, it is vaguely visible that the old man has been completely purified and turned into flying ash. The screen darkened again and slowly lit up again after a few seconds. Click. A fully armed knight, whose helmet armor as a treasure fell first, followed closely by his armor gradually disarmed, but due to the perspective, I didn't know the true face of this knight from beginning to end. The next second, the camera turned and next to the knight, a man with 3 scars on his face and sunglasses in the dark spoke slowly, I never thought that King Arthur's son, Mordred, was actually a woman. The camera spun rapidly, with blonde hair tied in a ponytail, and the cool Mordred gritted his teeth. His eyes flickered with a strong murderous aura, and his right hand swung in an instant. The long sword pointed straight at his master's neck, while the magic surged, and the air was instantly squeezed and exploded. Next time you call me a woman, I can't control myself, said Mordred coldly in a low voice, holding a giant sword in both hands. Do you understand? The sound slowly fell, and the screen also slowly went out. Gareth. At Mordred, he's very handsome. I used to want to talk to you a lot, but unfortunately didn't have the chance. How could it be that the legend of King Arthur that I have read is false? Kenneth. So the saber rank in this Holy Grail war is the legendary King Arthur. Germany, inside the Einzbelen castle. Saber's real name has been exposed, what should we do? Sisai. Alice Phil looked worried at Omiya Sisai. Just now, another saber appeared in the video, isn't it Mordred? Wei Gong slowly shook his head and said, Ellie, I'm not very familiar with the previous Holy Grail wars. In the previous 3 Holy Grail wars, which saber level summoned Mordred, the son of King Arthur? It never happened, Alice Phil replied confidently. That's to say, it's indeed the future. Wei Gong said solemnly, what kind of existence is behind this huge screen? Not only can it communicate with the spirits of the constellation of spirits, but it can even display images of the future. In the second scene, the 2 spirits' treasures collide, which seems to be the Holy Grail war, right? Alice Phil shook her head in confusion. Similar conversations also occur around the world. On the other side, on the train heading towards Kanbuzi City, Shi Lang was completely relieved. In the video just now, including the special point of the future after the burning of human nature, the 4th Holy Grail war of another parallel universe, and even the current world line, he could freely combine the images. That is to say, he can really play any video he wants. Even animation content that was not present in previous lifetimes can be directly generated and played out through storyline text descriptions. Immediately, Shi Lang made a decision and the video that had just been arranged began playing again. The screen in front of the magicians in the entire magic world, as well as the spirits on the constellation of spirits, lit up again. The video content officially begins, with the disappearance of the font on this line, a new title appeared immediately after it. 500 years of persistence under the title, a line of small characters gradually appears. There was once a man with great ambitions. However, the passage of time has transformed everything about men into alien forms. Whether its appearance, soul, or ambition as the font slowly disappeared, the screen darkened again. As the screen quietly lit up, it was a snowy plain, with heavy snowflakes scattered all over the ground on the snow. A man with blue hair and red pupils struggled to move forward. As he looked up, he saw a magnificent castle in the distance. At the moment he saw the castle, the young man showed an excited smile. Soon, the man arrived outside the castle, and the artificial maid inside the castle also walked out to question the man's identity. "My name is Machiri Zorjan, and I am visiting the Winter Saint." After being reported by the artificial maid, Machiri Zorjan successfully entered the castle and met the Winter Saint Feastisa as he wished. After exchanging ideas, Machiri Zorjan looked at the Winter Saint Feastisa and made his request. "Magic is a great power in the world, and I want to use this power to eradicate all the evil in this world and the evil of humanity." Winter Saint Feastisa looked at Machiri Zorjan, but did not immediately agree. Instead, after exchanging pleasantries, she came to a Hadian. "Saint, I think we can promise him that as someone with nearly 300 years of rich magic experience, he will definitely contribute to us in reproducing the third method. Since he has proposed a plan to manufacture a magic furnace core with you as the substrate, we can play by the game," said a Hadian. In the picture, the Winter Saint Feastisa nodded in agreement. Jian Tong Dirty Inkstone. Ahahaha. The Holy Grail fought for in the Holy Grail War has never been a wishing machine, but a medium for reproducing the third law of the Einzbelen family. No, it's not like that. How could this be possible? It has been 200 years, how could anyone know? It's really interesting. Half a year ago, the old man discovered that millions of world lines were starting to collapse, and half a year later, he never found out exactly what it was. It turns out to be like this. At Sushita Osaka. At Zelrich, teacher. Farasaka Shichen. At Farasaka Nagato, ancestor. Can you also see these scenes? For a moment, the hearts of almost all the magicians in the magic world were shaken on screen. This screen not only plays the secrets that the demon world has never heard of, but also allows the dead to see these scenes, and even allows them to speak. P.S. I am an old author. I have written a book with 2 to 3 million words on this website. Please provide some data support so that this book can see the sun tomorrow and start with 10,000 words every day. Thank you. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. The Holy Grail is a conspiracy of Einzbelen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the world of magic, it is well known that all things in the world are born from their roots. The vortex of the root is the cause of everything. The physical rules of the world, even the laws of magic, all originate from it. Therefore, in terms of existence, the vortex of origin is the ultimate knowledge. Reaching the vortex of the root is also the ultimate aspiration of countless magicians from ancient times to the present. At this moment, whether it's heroes or ordinary magicians who have left a rich legacy in history, they can all see the videos on this huge screen. Isn't this just representing the ultimate? At this moment, all the magicians around the world who paid attention to these bullet comments were deeply moved. Regardless of the purpose of the people behind the scenes playing these videos, they can ignore time and space, allowing the spirits on the constellation of spirits and those who have died to return to their roots to express their opinions. This all represents that the existence behind the scenes has reached the pinnacle. Aoko Aozaki. At Zarek, at Kiyoshi Temple has a pearl. Is this the power of the first law of negation of nothingness? Kenneth. The first method. How could it be, how could there be such a presence in the magic world? There is a pearl in Yingling Temple. At Aoko Kenzaki, it's impossible. Have you forgotten? As I told you, the second to fourth methods are all derived from reaching that place. As the first method of the same origin, once they really reappear, they will inevitably devour each other. Senior Zarek will not spend half a year observing the world line so leisurely. Sanchi Orange. At Sanchi Qingzi, my foolish sister, even if she inherits the fifth law, she is still so ignorant. Sanchi Qingzi. You shut up, crazy, Zelrich. At Nagato Osaka, it's such a tumultuous era. I never expected to see you again one day. Zelrich. At Aoko Kenzaki, the heir of the Kenzaki family, the descendants of Yamaina have already answered you. Ferguson Mark Roy, Xiao Gang. Sucking, what a gorgeous and mesmerizing beauty. At Feast Isa, /posting, Edward Teach, Blackbeard. At Xiaojiang, haven't you noticed that there are more beautiful women in this so-called chat room? If I were to be their first legal heir or the person behind this video, I would definitely tie them all to my ship, and there would be only one man on board, and they. He, pretty widow captain, long-legged mate, huge Europa crew member, lowly sailor, Alice Phil frowned, are they really heroes? How could they be so gentlemanly? Agui 1. My king, although I don't know how many years have passed, are you still fighting for the survival of Britain to this day? At Lancelot, the person who has humiliated my king's reputation, I wish I could eat your flesh and sleep on your skin. Chaotic subjects and thieves, take your life. Altolia. Agui Wenqing, this is my duty. Please do not blame yourself so much. I will make everyone forget those pains. Morgan. Forgetful. O hateful red dragon, you will never wash away your sins. Ha ha ha. Mordred. Mother, father is not like this, not like that. Kenneth. Damn it. It is indeed a magical ceremony called the Holy Grail War in the countryside. It turned out to be a conspiracy of the Einzbelen family from beginning to end, damn it. The story of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table is truly poignant, but why do I feel happy? Am I incomplete? Yan Feng Lijiang. At Yan Feng Chile, my son, my lord, do not speak recklessly. You are a proud father. Yan Feng Chile. It's my father. In the barrage chat room, every word you say, the screen image continues. The plan was successfully finalized, and the Winter Virgin Feastisa and Machiri Zorjan left Europe to seek suitable spiritual veins in the Far East, where the magic family had very few, in order to avoid surveillance from the church on the boundless sea. Ships slowly anchor and dock. After getting off the ship, Machiri Zorjan and Feastisa eagerly rushed to the land of Fusang, until they met the spiritual vessel manager of Dongmu City, Nagatoshi Osaka. Sure, I'm willing to provide you with land. Nagato Osaka responded as he looked at Machiri Zorjan and Feastisa in front of him. The screen changes again, and in a forest, Nagato Osaka walks towards her, followed by Markiri Zorjan and the Winter Saint. 3 people walked into a temple, and the plaque above the temple prominently read 3 big characters. Ludong Temple. I did not enter Ludong Temple, but bypassed it and headed deeper into the mountains and forests until I reached a hidden cave entrance. And at the entrance of the cave, there actually stood another existence, who was the second magical envoy, Kishia Zarek Serbayagu. Mr. Zelrich / Mr. Teacher. The 3 of them saluted one after another. Zelrich nodded calmly and then walked into the cave first. After a bumpy road, he finally arrived at the large cave. On the surface of the rock with a radius of over 50 meters, countless layers of overlapping marks had already been engraved, layer by layer surrounding it. Zelrich, Markiri Zorjan, Nagato Osaka, and Lady of Winter also arrived at the center of the engraving. Let's believe in this concept. In order to reach the root, the 3 families of Farasaka, Einzbelen, and Machiri worked together to explore the path. Zelrich whispered in front of the 3 of them, what are the things they each provide? A red-clad Iroku of Osaka took a step forward and said, Osaka is responsible for providing the spiritual land for laying the Holy Grail. In order to bind the followers who became offerings, Machiri offered a curse. Machiri Zorjan walked forward. The Winter Saint in the heavenly clothes takes 2 steps. Einzbelen will provide a magic circuit to achieve the 3rd magic. I, Kishia Xerix Ayubian Augustus, have come as a witness and we can start now. The winter saint walked over and lay down on the rock filled with magic circuits. Suddenly, the mechanism above activated, and the strip-shaped boulders, also engraved with magic circuits, gradually fell and covered. Blood seeps through the gaps. Little by little, penetrating the entire circuit. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. A hero with the surname Wei Gong. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Jian Tong Dirty Inkstone. Ha ha ha, haha, ridiculous, foolish. At Itsushita, at Hastaisa, have you seen it? The foolish me back then, and the even more foolish you who have been dead for 200 years. Etsushita Osaka. Justisa. How could it be? Machiri Zorjan, who is now the head of the Satoru family. Do you still survive in the world to this day? At Kanetsu Dirty Inkstone, Yingling Palace. At Jiantong Dirty Inkstone, do you remember your ideals when the Holy Grail War was established? Alice Phil. Servant with the surname, Wei Gong, /surprised. Yuansaka family. Looking at the Red Knight speaking, Far Saka Shichen frowned tightly. Will this servant, named the Palace of the Spirit, be related to the succession of the Palace of the Holy Grail in this war? Although the Holy Grail War has not officially begun yet, Tomisaka Shigekatsu feels that the plan needs to start earlier. Immediately, he summoned Kue Yuan and instructed Kue Yuan to pack up her things and leave with Rin Yuan today. No matter what kind of content will still appear in the video, and no matter what the purpose of the people behind the video is, Dongmu City is no longer safe now. On the other hand, Germany. Do you know this servant named Wei Gong, Chiasi? Alice Phil asked curiously. Wei Gong Chiasi is also full of doubts. As the only heir of the Weigong family, he only inherited a portion of the magic imprint of the Weigong family. As for whether there were any heroes left in history in his ancestors, Wei Gongqie is certain that there are none. I don't know, it might just be a coincidence. Wei Gongqiesi shook his head. Ellie, let's not talk about this anymore. We can't wait any longer. I'll go to Dongmu first, and you and Saber will follow closely behind. Okay. In the video, with the failure of the first Holy Grail War ceremony, Machiri Zorjan's life gradually came to an end. He, who is over 300 years old, ordinary magic techniques are no longer enough to prolong his life. At the same time, Machiri Zorjan, who began to take root in the Far East, changed his family name to Jiantong. However, the next generation of the Jiantong family did not inherit the water magic of the Jiantong family. The ideal that Jiantong's dirty inkstone often talks about begins to decrease in frequency, replaced by no. No. I want to continue living. I must see the day when my ideal comes true with my own eyes. On this day, like a candle in the wind, the dirty inkstone of Jian Tong searched through magic classics and finally found a secret method to prolong his life. If we could abandon this body and take the three corpses that inhabit the human body as our own body, and then use the magical properties passed down and absorbed by our Jian Tong family to absorb the lives of others. In the dark basement of Jian Tong's house, Jian Tong's dirty inkstone laughed wildly like a demon in hell, accompanied by the creaking sounds in the pitch black. The originally handsome man became an existence of neither man nor ghost. The first thing he did to abandon his previous body was to gaze at a woman in the midst of darkness, who was in the prime of youth. The young woman was completely unaware of the terrifying gaze staring at her from behind, and when suddenly a strong wind came from beside her, the woman stopped and turned around, but saw nothing. Next second, when she turned around, a terrifying creature appeared before her, neither human nor ghost. With half a scream, the woman involuntarily flew into the deserted alley, blood splattering, insects rustling, and countless terrifying gnawing sounds coming out quickly. A short, bald old man with limbs as thin as a mummy walked out, emitting an unpleasant and putrid odor all over his body. It is the dirty inkstone of Jian Tongyan Ye. Nagato Osaka. Le nice. Disgusting. Yan Feng Li. This is what we call the 500-year persistence in our mouths. Yan Feng Li. I see. In history, you were responsible for many missing women cases in Dongmu City. At Jiantong Dirty Inkstone, Yan Feng Region. At Mr. Yuansaka Shichen, as the manager of Dongmu City's territory, I hope to immediately issue a wanted notice for the head of the Jiantong family. The Holy Church will cooperate with your action. Kenneth. Such a heretical existence. Gilgamesh. Miscellaneous cultivator. How dare to play such filth in front of this king? I will now communicate with the Magic Association to investigate this matter. Wei Gong Chi Si. Is this still under investigation? Can you prove that the video content must be true? The crowd in front of the screen immediately fell silent. Yes. Who can prove that the content in the picture is true now? Not to mention, both the Yamagasaka family and the Arakawa family are one of the three imperial families, both rooted in the city of Higashiki. Although the two families have a grudge over the Holy Grail War, the world of magicians is different from ordinary people, so they have been in close contact. Especially Yan Feng Region, who was well aware that not long ago, Yuan Saka Shichen had adopted his other daughter with excellent magical skills to the Jiantong family. Yan Feng Li Zheng. Well, we need to investigate first. Osaka Kue. At Osaka Shichen. Farasaka Shichen. At Farasaka Kue, don't worry, Kue, I will handle everything well. On the train, Shi Lang frowned as he watched the speech. Is it all like this and we still need to investigate? We shouldn't at least control the old bug directly and take the cherry blossom back first. In this way, the first change can be achieved, and he can know exactly how to play these videos in the future based on the reward. With a furrowed brow, Shiro decided to immediately accelerate the pace. As expected. At the next moment, the scene in the video made Kishikawa unable to sit still. P.S. Kneel down and ask for some data, give the author some motivation to code words. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Yingling Weigong, do you know Weigong Chiasi? You are listening at novel full.audio. A line of text appeared on the screen. Turin, Italy, 1991, 3 years before the Fourth Holy Grail War in Dongmu City. If it weren't for the tradition of maintaining elegance at all times, the crossed legs of Tokugawa Shichen couldn't help but be lowered involuntarily. Tokugawa Shichen now needs to take a deep breath. Other viewers in front of the screen were unaware that Yoshimoto Osaka was only as clear about Italy 3 years ago. As the screen reappeared, the three of them appeared on the screen. They were the father and son of Farasaka Shichen and Yan Feng. Ling Mantra. Yan Fengqili looked at her right arm and asked in confusion, the pattern that appears on your right hand is the proof that you have been chosen by the Holy Grail, and it is the holy mark bestowed upon you to rule over the servant. Yoshimasa spoke elegantly, extending his right hand to allow Yan Feng Kiri to see the curse on his hand. Yan Feng Chili, you have been selected. Did you choose me in the Holy Grail War? Yan Fengqili asked in disbelief. Originally, the 7 masters chosen by the Holy Grail War to manage the servant were all magicians. For someone like you who had no connection with magic, being recognized by the Holy Grail so early should be an extremely special example. The viewers in front of the screen immediately watched as Farasaka Shichen and Yan Feng Ri were performing a duet. Quickly, they discovered the filth between the three of them. Yan Fengli, as the supervisor of this Holy Grail War, surprisingly had already colluded with Yuan Saka Shichen. As a participant in the Holy Grail War, Fengqili was asked to openly oppose Yan Fengqili, but in fact, he was one openly and one secretly against the retainer of Farasaka. Yuan Saka Shichen was extremely shocked. Such a secretive matter has been openly disclosed like this. However, he immediately felt relieved that since the mastermind behind the video could allow historical heroes to speak here, it was natural for him to know their secrecy. But the authenticity of these videos is beyond doubt. The contemporary head of the Jian Tong family, Jian Tong Dirty Inkstone, was actually one of the creators of the Holy Grail War magic ceremony, Machiri's origin. If that's the case, he will send Sakura Farasaka to the house of Tanaka. No, what Jian Tong Dirty Inkstone sucks on are the lives of ordinary people. Although such behavior goes against heaven, Sakura's magical ability is known to Jian Tong Dirty Inkstone, and he should not do anything to Sakura. Thinking of this, Yuan Saka Shichen felt relieved. Weber Vervet. At Farasaka Shichen, at Fengqili, at Feng region, shameless, self-stealing. Alice Phil. At Osaka Shichen, is the Osaka family leader still saying that this video cannot be distinguished between true and false? Yan Feng Li Zheng. Osaka Shichen. Yan Feng Qi Li. Kenneth. I will report this matter to the association immediately. As a priest of the Holy Grail Church, I served as a supervisor for 2 consecutive Holy Grail Wars. At Yan Feng Li Zheng, is that how you behave? Yan Feng Li Zheng. Please abide by the rules of this Holy Grail War competition. As for my actions, I do not need to explain them to you. If you are dissatisfied with my supervisor status, you can apply to the association or church. Osaka Kue. At Osaka Shichen, Sakura. Don't worry, Kue, I have a clear idea. Everyone who participated in the 4th Holy Grail War understood that Yan Feng Qili and Yuansaka Shichen were wearing the same pants. But they have nothing to do with these 2 people. After all, willing to submit to the officials of Far Saka, this is the will of Yan Feng Qili himself. Yan Feng Qili is unwilling to compete for the Holy Grail, so what are their solutions? Not to mention, there has been a precedent before when 2 imperial lords temporarily formed an alliance. Fortunately, it's not too late for them to know now, just be wary of the collaboration between Farasaka Shichen and Yan Feng Qili. Kenneth. It's really the style of a rural magician. The so-called Holy Grail, the universal wishing machine, has always been a facade of the Einzbelen family. Now there are also acts of collusion between supervisors and participants. What's the use of this Holy Grail? Upon seeing Kenneth's speech, the taxi driver on the train was immediately delighted. His purpose in playing the video of the Holy Grail War founded by the 3 families is this. Make them realize that the Holy Grail is useless, then they won't compete anymore. The 4th Holy Grail War ends before it even begins, and natural fate will undergo a dramatic change. In this way, once Kenneth returns to the clock tower in London, can Weber still become Almoro too? However, the next second. Yingling Palace. At Kenneth, it's extremely foolish. Do you really think that the former head of the Osaka family and Machiri's origin wouldn't know the thoughts of the Einzbelen family? Don't forget, the Einzbelen family only provided 1/3 of the ceremony for the Holy Grail War. Watching the speech of Yingling Palace, Shi Lang's mouth twitched. In the original plot of the 5th Holy Grail War, the Eisenhower Palace aimed to kill him, that is, to kill his former self. Now it's not the 5th Holy Grail War, and he, who had a voice in the 4th Holy Grail War, actually contradicts his will in some way. Is this the convergence of the world line, Alice Field? At Yingling Weigong, how do you know, surprised, and also, your surname is Weigong. Do you know Weigong Chisher? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. At Yanye, enough. I am Sakura and Rin. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Altolia. At Alice Field, Madam, Servant, following the contract in this world, will not only be endowed with knowledge of this era, but also with knowledge of the Holy Grail War. The ultimate winner of the Holy Grail War must be able to fulfill their wishes with the Holy Grail. Dilmudo Dina. At Kenneth, Master, perhaps the original intention of the Holy Grail War was to recreate the third law in Einzbelen, but the Holy Grail War has developed for the fourth time now, and the essence of the Holy Grail as a wish machine is also true. Kenneth. So what should we do now? At Yan Feng has the seventh servant, Caster's Lord, appeared. Yan Feng. Not yet, the Church has not received any news about the seventh master. The Holy Grail War will continue as usual. If the seventh master does not appear after the end of this month, there will be no more waiting. Of course, as a supervisor, I will not provide protection and other rights for the seventh master. Yan Feng. As for whether you doubt my fairness and justice, I remain the supervisor of this Holy Grail War until the official orders of the association and church were issued. Sanchi Orange. I am not interested in the war between you, I am only interested in videos. What is the relationship between these contents and Jian Tong's dirty inkstone just now? Huangye Zonglian. Perhaps it is related to the Fourth Holy Grail War. Cornelia Saruba. A group of ignorant fools. The Palace of the Spiritual Guard. At Alice Field, I think I know each other. Alice Phil. Ah, what kind of person are you, the ancestor of Chiasi? The barrage of comments kept going on, and the screen flickered once again. In a park, the wife of Yoshimasa Kue, was holding a book as a man slowly walked towards her. Yanye, it's been a long time since we last met. You're back from a business trip, said Kue Yuan with a smile as she slowly looked up. Yuan Saka Shichen's expression stiffened as he watched this scene. He didn't know that Kue Yuansaka and Yanye Jiantong had met privately before. Although he was already the winner, he could guess that Farasaka Kue went to see Sakura in order to adopt her to the family. But watching his former rival make an appointment with his wife still made him a little unhappy. Yuansaka Rin. At Yuansaka Kue, at Yuansaka Shichen, Mom and Dad, look, we're on TV now. Can Rin also see Sakura in the video? Jian Tongyan Ye. At Yuansaka Rin, are you the sister of the new sister who came to my house? It's me. If you dare to bully her, I want you to look good. Uncle Yanye, welcome back. Rin Osaka, who was playing on the lawn, threw away the ball in his hand and quickly ran towards Yanye Jiantong. In the close-up shot, his jewel-like eyes and sweet smile were very cute. Jian Tongyan Ye smiled and squatted down. Did you buy me a gift again? Rin Osaka tilted her head and asked with anticipation in her eyes, Hey, Rin, it's so impolite. Kue Yuansaka looked at her daughter in dissatisfaction. Here. Jian Tongyan smiled, but had already handed the prepared gift to Yuan Sakaki Rin. But the people who participated in the Holy Grail War in front of the screen were murmuring as they watched this harmonious scene. Is it difficult? Has Yuan Saka Shichen not only made an alliance with Yan Fengqili, but also established an alliance with the Jiantong family? However, a line of text slowly drifted across the huge screen. Blackbeard. Well, how does this look? These three people are a family of one. Xiao Zhang. Of course beautiful women are highly sought after by many people. I have heard that Lady Yuansaka, you and Yan Tongyan Ye are the true childhood sweethearts. Farasaka Kue. At Omiya Katsushi, don't use these dirty methods anymore. Although I'm not sure why I met with Yanye privately in the video, since Sakura hasn't appeared, I must be doing it for Sakura. Jian Tongyan Ye. At Yuansaka Kue, what's wrong with Sakura sauce? At Yuansaka Shichen, do you still have human nature? Sakura sauce is your biological daughter. Sakura Kue. Sakura has already been adopted by the Satoru family. Jian Tongyan Ye. At Yuansaka Shichen, you will definitely regret it. Enough. At Sakura Yanye, I am Sakura and Rin's father. In the heart of Farasaka Shichen, MMP, this guy, Tanaka Yanye. But the screen continues. Yoshimasa suddenly felt that the atmosphere in the picture was not quite right. Where is Sakura? In the video, Jian Tongyan Ye took out the second gift, Sakura. She's no longer here, she replied after a while, as the light in her eyes continued to dissipate. Jian Tongyan Ye turned her head to look at the distant Sakura and said, Kue. Sakura is no longer my daughter and Rin's sister. She has gone to the Kane family, said Kue Osaka, lowering her head in an instant. Jian Tongyan's expression changed greatly and she stood up, saying, Why? Don't you know the reason why the Katsura family wants to have a child who inherits the lineage of a magician? Kue Kisaka looked sad and said, the head of the Katsura family has decided to agree to the request of their ancient ally, the Katsura family. I can't have any room to express my opinion. Since I married into the Katsura family, I have already realized something. If you encounter Sakura, please treat her well. Sanchi Orange. Sure enough, there is a secret in the Tanaka family, and I feel a bit uneasy. Yuansaka Rin. At Yuansaka Shichen, Dad, did Sakura go to her new home and be bullied? Don't worry, Rin, Sakura will be fine. However, the next second, the screen changed. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. It's all Shichen's fault. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. As night fell, Jian Tongyan quickly returned to the Jian Tongjia's mansion with a gloomy face. You loser, you dare not shamelessly appear in front of me. I remember telling you clearly, don't let me see your face again. In the slightly dimly lit room, dressed in a combination of blue and dark gray kimono, with a wooden cane in hand, Jian Tong Dirty Inkstone stared at Jian Tongyan Ye as he walked in. I heard that the Kane family adopted the second daughter of the Yuan family. Hee. The sunken eye sockets of Jian Tong's Dirty Inkstone showed a strange smile. You have quite good news. Even if we do such a thing, do we still want the Jiantong family to preserve the magician's genes? Others don't care, but are you actually questioning me? Do you think it's because of who our Jiantong family has fallen to this point? Jiantong's Dirty Inkstone paused and said, Yanye, if you honestly inherit the position of family head and the secret of Jiantong's family, the situation won't be so embarrassing. It's all because of you. Jian Tongyan frowned at night and interrupted, stop talking nonsense, vampire. You just wanted the Holy Grail to keep yourself from aging or dying, right? Jia. Jian Tong Dirty Inkstone laughed cruelly without reservation, then stood up and said, the 60-year cycle is about to come, but the Jian Tong family has no chess pieces to participate in the Fourth Holy Grail War, and you are barely okay. However, your brother Hai's level of magic cannot control servant at all. Therefore, even if you give up this war, there is still a chance of winning the next war in 60 years. I believe that in the belly of the daughter of the Far Saka family, enough excellent magicians can be born. Moreover, as a container, she has quite high potential, said Jian Tong's Dirty Inkstone as he approached Jian Tongyan Ye. As long as you can obtain the Holy Grail, you don't need Sakura Farasaka, do you? Asked Sakura, taking a deep breath at night, what do you want to do? This is a transaction, Dirty Inkstone. Jian Tongyan squinted at night and said, I will bring the Holy Grail back to Jian Tongjia's house in this Holy Grail war as an exchange, and release the Sakura of Far Sakura. Jia. Don't say anything foolish, you don't have such talent. As long as you implant the imprinting worm into my body, won't that be enough? The obsession of the Jian Tong family should be realized by the people of the Jian Tong family. Jian Tongyan Ye stared at Jian Tong's Dirty Inkstone and said, let's release the cherry blossoms. Do you want to die? Yanye, as for letting go of that little girl, it seems a bit late. Jian Tongyan Ye's face suddenly changed. Vampire, are you? Snicker, prick, 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 the camera suddenly changed without any warning. Looking down, a poor little girl with black hair and blue pupils was surrounded by thousands of dead insects. Her eyes were lost, as if she had no attachment to this world. Far Sakaki Rin. Ah. Altolia. Damn it. Jian Tongyan Ye. No, at Yuanban Shichen, it's all Shichen's fault. At Jian Tong Dirty Ink Stone, don't hit Sakura. I'll go home now and represent the Jian Tong family in this Holy Grail war. Alice Phil. How? Maybe. Yoshitaka Nagato. This. At Kantong Dirty Ink Stone, you have lost your humanity to this point. Justice. At Jian Tong Dirty Ink Stone, you have fallen to this place. Sakura, my cherry sauce. Aoko Aozaki. It's really unforgivable. As a member of the wizarding world, have you forgotten the code of conduct for magicians in the magic world? Jian Tong Dirty Ink Stone. Hee, what's wrong with me? Little kids, stop boasting about yourself here. Are there still fewer cases of using human bodies to experiment with magic in the Magic Association, where humanity is lost? Yan Feng Lijeng. I declare that the Holy Grail War has been postponed. At Yan Feng Chile, please immediately apply to the 8th Secret Society and ask the Heretic Judgment Team to eliminate the heresy of Jiantong Dirty Ink Stone. Jiantong Dirty Ink Stone. At Yan Feng Lijeng, foolish supervisor, are you going to carry out a crackdown on me because of this baseless video? I haven't done anything by Sakura Farasaka yet. May I ask what charges you plan to use against me? Don't forget, I am also a member of the Magic Association. Yuansaka Shichen. At Jian Tong Dirty Ink Stone, old bug, you wait for me. Jian Tong Dirty Ink Stone. At Yuan Saka Shichen, hee, Yuan Saka Master, if you repent, I will return this little girl to you. Yuansaka Family Mansion. Yuansaka Shichen clenched his fist tightly, his sharp fingernails piercing deeply into the flesh of his palm. To be honest, when he just heard that Jian Tong's Dirty Ink Stone was Machiri's origin, he felt fortunate. The magic accumulation of the Sakura family over 500 years will be inherited by Sakura alone, and in the future, their long-standing wish of the Farasaka family will have another possibility. But now. After calming down, Genzaka Shichen immediately went to his magic workshop and sent a message to Yan Feng Chile. Chile, immediately, in the name of the representative of the Church of the Holy See, went to the Kentong family to investigate the reason for the missing woman and asked Kentong's Dirty Ink Stone to cooperate. I immediately went to the Kentong family and brought back Far Sakura. Yes, teacher. The first 3 days were full of crying, but from the 4th day, there was no sound at all. In the video, Jian Tong's Dirty Ink Stone had no intonation, just like talking about a trivial everyday. Watching the gruesome and terrifying scene in the video, Yoshimasa no longer stayed and rushed out of the Yoshimasa family mansion to leave PS. The protagonist is Shiro, and there will naturally be many scenes in the future. There will also be whole life videos, such as Second Creation and Holy Grail Carnival. As for the female lead, basically all female leads except Alice will write. Don't worry, this book has just begun. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Look, it looks like a clown. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Shi Lang is very clear about the reason why Jian Tong Dirty Ink Stone is so confident and fearless. Although the video clearly points out that the only way for Jian Tong Dirty Ink Stone to survive to this day is to consume the vitality of ordinary people. But to be honest, not many magicians will find this unreasonable, and even a large number of people will take it for granted. Being in the realm of magic, every magician claims to be superior. Although both the Magic Society and the Church of the Holy See explicitly prohibit magicians from interfering with the mortal world, the Holy Grail War must take place in secret. It is a definite fact that one can master the mysterious power that surpasses ordinary people. What's wrong with sacrificing some ordinary people to continue their lives? In the current situation where Jiantong Dirty Inkstone has not yet implanted imprinting worms into Yuansaka Sakura, according to Shiro's estimation, the Magic Association and the Church of the Holy See will not even classify Jiantong Dirty Inkstone as a heretic for punishment. Moreover, the old bug is not so easy to kill, and its true form has long been lost. However, in the future, Yoshimasa will probably bring Yoshimasa back to the Yoshimasa family. In this way, Yoshimasa's fate will undergo a significant change. Yoshimasa's hatred towards the Satoru family has completely changed, and my reward should also come. The fact is indeed as expected by the scholar. Yuansaka Shichen rushed non-stop to the Jiantong family, and from afar, he saw the mummified Jiantong Dirty Inkstone. At the moment when he saw the dirty inkstone of Jiantong, Yuansaka Shichen calmed down. Jiantong's dirty inkstone was filled with a smile and said, "Master of the Yuansaka family, long time no see." Despite harboring hatred in his heart, Yuansaka Shichen dared not act recklessly, as every magician's home was an extremely dangerous area. For example, his distant mansion, as his magic workshop, has multiple magic traps arranged inside and outside. "Where's Sakura?" Yoshimasa said straightforwardly. "Have you forgotten our agreement, Master Yuansaka?" Jiantong Dirty Inkstone spoke slowly and calmly. "Although it may be cruel for a child to accept the magic inheritance of their old body, Master Yuansaka, you should be aware that it is precisely because Sakura's magic talent is high enough that his old body will do so. If Sakura were to hide his secrets, he would be like Yanye, waiting for a new Jiantong family offspring to be born in Sakura's womb in 10 or 20 years. I'm asking you, where's Sakura?" "Sakura is playing with her brother in the living room," said Jian Tongyan with an eerie smile, as if he were eating the food from Dingyuan Sakashi. "Return the cherry blossoms to me." Did the Farasaka family mainly give up Sakura to inherit the magic inheritance of the Kono family? I'll say it again for the last time. Yoshimoto Osaka's expression became a bit grim. "Give me back the cherry blossom." "Sure, but if the head of the Farasaka family goes back and forth like this, what should they do? How about this? Please order your disciples not to disturb me from today until the Holy Grail War." Pressing down the fiery energy in his heart, Yuansaka Shichen's fierce gaze was as if he had eaten the dirty inkstone raw. After counting the time. "Okay, I promise you, bring out the cherry blossoms." Taking a deep breath, Farasaka Shichen said with final elegance. "I believe in the credibility of the owner of the Farasaka family." Immediately, Jiantong's dirty inkstone turned around and waved towards the inside. Yuansaka Sakura sobbed slightly and walked out of the room. In the moment she saw Yuansaka Shichen, her eyes suddenly lit up. However, as soon as she broke through the defense, she ran outside and burst into tears. Yuansaka Shichen squatted down and quickly hugged Sakura in his arms. It's okay, Sakura sauce." Yoshimasa gently patted Yoshimasa's back. When the sobbing voice of Sakura Farasaka decreased, Sakura Farasaka Shichen stood up with Sakura in his arms. Finally, he took a deep look at the dirty inkstone in Tongjian, and Yuansaka Shichen turned around and left. When Yuansaka Shichen returned to the Yuansaka family mansion, the video about the dirty inkstone of Jiantong also ended. Alice Field. At Osaka Shizai, have you brought back cherry sauce? Yan Feng Lijeng. At Yuansaka Shichen, have you picked up Sakura yet? Thank you for your concern, Sakura. I have already taken you home. Alice Phil. That's good, Mordred. At Farasaka Shichen, hey, did you kill that old bug? Aoko Aozaki. At Osaka Shichen, you won't do anything after you go, will you? Osaka Shichen. Mordred. A useless thing. How could one's own biological child be persecuted like that and still do nothing? Sanchi Qingzi. He is the so-called master of the demon sect awakened. Farasaka Kue. Thank you for your concern. Shichen has his own difficulties, as long as Sakura sauce comes back safely. Jian Tongyan Ye. At Yuansaka Kue, are you still maintaining him now? Blackbeard. She's such a good woman. Xiao Gang. Not bad. At Jian Tongyan Ye, you're just worried about eating salted carrots. The girls don't protect their men, do they protect you? Jian Tongyan Ye. Me. At Yuansaka Shichen, you're not even worthy of Kue. Far Banki. At Jian Tongyan Ye, enough, Yanye. Blackbeard. At Xiaojiang, come on, it looks like a clown. Yuansaka Mansion. After explaining to Yan Feng, he sent Yuan Sakura to Zen City. Yuan Sakura Shichen returned to his room and collapsed on the sofa. Watching the barrage of bullets drift by, Yuan Sakura Shichen clenched his fist and blushed. But in the end, he just weakly lowered his arms at the windowsill. Gilgamesh's figure slowly appeared, looking down at the back of Yoshimasa from a high position, with contempt in his eyes. That's right at this moment. Congratulations to member Farasaka Shichen for obtaining a spell stroke. Congratulations to member Sakura Osaka for winning a lottery opportunity of X1. P.S. Thank you to the Demon King CWK for a big 1000-point reward. Dada's name is so familiar. I remember Dada gave me a reward and support 2 or 3 years ago when I was writing type months. Thank you very much. Let's continue with the updates. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.